And they've said that the person driving the Volvo waited in the car all that time with the windows down and the front door open, the passenger door open, when it was literally chucking it down with rain and it was windy. Why is that, Gemma?
No comment.
The car stank, didn't it, Gemma?
No comment.
Stunk of a dead person.
No comment.
Stunk of Deborah's decomposing body. Is that right, Gemma?
No comment.
On June 11th, 2021, a resident of Wembley reported the disappearance of his 67-year-old landlord, Deborah Chong, to the police. The caller was worried because Deborah had been battling mental health issues and had mobility problems. This concern grew into fear, which reached a peak 16 days later when tourists discovered a horrific scene. Deborah's severely decomposed body was found in a wooded area, with a blue suitcase lying ominously nearby. Mi Quen Chong, affectionately known as Deborah, was a compassionate 67-year-old woman from London. Having lost her husband a few years earlier, she had moved from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to the UK with him 3 decades ago and had called Wembley home for the last 20 years. Deborah lived in a house she owned with her tenant, David Klein, a crane operator. A devout Christian, she frequently shared evangelical content on social media. Deborah was widely admired for her generosity towards the homeless. After her husband's passing, she went through a difficult period and began writing letters to prominent figures like Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Prince Charles. She became convinced she was in love with Prince Charles and believed they could communicate through YouTube videos. Her persistent attempts to contact public figures drew the attention of the Fixated Threat Assessment Center, a joint police and mental health unit. They referred her to a local community health team, where she was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and prescribed psychotropic medication. Those who knew Deborah, viewing her as harmless and childlike, were surprised by the diagnosis. Despite these perceptions, Deborah herself recognized that she needed help. In the summer of 2020, Deborah met 36-year-old Gemma Mitchell at a local church. Both devout Christians who shared evangelical content on social media, they quickly bonded over their shared faith and developed a close friendship. Gemma, born in Australia and raised in England from the age of 2, studied osteopathy in Britain before starting her practice in Australia at a repurposed funeral parlor. She returned to London in 2015, but was unable to practice osteopathy due to not being registered with the General Osteopathic Council, as required by UK law. With limited income, Gemma moved back to her family's dilapidated $4.6 million property in Brondesbury, Brent, where she lived in a converted garage apartment while her mother and sister occupied the ground floor. As Gemma and Deborah grew closer, Gemma became a spiritual healer to Deborah. Deborah came to believe that Gemma's supposed healing abilities were alleviating her illness. Eventually, Gemma confided in Deborah about how she and her mother had been scammed out of $230,000 by 2 dishonest contractors, thwarting their plans to renovate their home. Touched by their plight, Deborah offered to give $200,000 for the home's restoration, on the condition that it be used for Christian worship. This offer was transformative for Gemma, but she would ultimately never receive the money. On the night of June 11th, 2021, at 10:48 p.m., a worried tenant reported Deborah missing. He hadn't seen her since the previous evening, and oddly, she had left her phone and glasses behind. Knowing Deborah was close with Gemma, he contacted her. Gemma explained that Deborah had gone to stay with family for some time to clear her mind, as she had been feeling depressed. Gemma shared this information with the police, initiating an investigation that made little progress until a grim discovery on June 27th. While walking their dog in the woods of Salcombe, South Devon, a family came across a horrifying scene and immediately called 999.
Emergency. Hi, I just found a body Oh, go ahead, caller. What's your emergency?
I just found a body.
Right, okay. A body, is it... Are they breathing?
No, they're dead. They look like they've possibly been there like a few days or something, with some flies and stuff.
Right, okay. Bear me a second. Let's pop this on.
What's the road?
Yeah, what road are you on?
I'm in Salcombe.
You're in Salcombe, sorry. Let me have a look. I can populate, hopefully, where you are. So, Bennett Road, are you quite near the harbour?
We're up from North Sand Beach. Hang on, just a Google map.
Oh, okay, yeah, so I can see North Sand Bay.
Road.
Bennett Road, yeah, you are on Bennett Road.
Police arrived and confirmed the presence of human remains. The body was found on a public footpath at the bottom of a set of steps, with the head missing. Officers noted that the skin around the neck appeared unusually clean. A post-mortem conducted at the Royal Devon and Exeter Hospital that same day could not determine the cause of death due to the body's advanced decomposition. On June 30th, Detective Ben Deere informed the local media about the gruesome discovery.
Police were called to a report of a body found near the Bennett Road area of Salcombe on the 27th of June. Our initial inquiries have identified that female as Mi Chong, a 67-year-old from the Wembley area of London, who was reported missing in London on the 11th of June. So we are looking to try and understand movement between the 11th of June in London and the 27th of June when the lady was found in Salcombe. And so we would appeal for witnesses and anyone to come forward. The death itself is being treated as unexplained at this time, and our thoughts are with friends and family.
Has the body been totally recovered?
So the investigation is ongoing at the scene.
Okay. Was the heavy rainfall on Sunday a part of the body's discovery?
So I'm unaware.
In the days following the initial discovery, agents intensively scoured the area. On July 1st, another gruesome discovery was made. A human head found just 30 feet from where Deborah's body had been located. DNA tests confirmed that the head belonged to Deborah, who lived over 200 miles away. Detectives, grappling with these grim findings, investigated her last known movements and canvassed her neighborhood for surveillance footage. They uncovered a chilling detail that Gemma Mitchell had conveniently withheld. She had visited Deborah's home on June 11th. CCTV footage, captured at 6:15 a.m. by a camera near her house, showed Gemma leaving her home at Bronsbury Park with a large blue-wheeled suitcase. She appeared to handle the suitcase without difficulty. At 6:40 a.m., Gemma was seen in different attire, wearing a beanie and face mask, pulling the blue suitcase and heading towards Deborah's house. At 12:58 p.m., Gemma is seen leaving Deborah's house with two suitcases, a large blue one and a smaller red and blue one. This time, she visibly struggles to move the larger blue suitcase. She spends the next 3 hours carrying the suitcase through suburban London before returning home after 4 p.m. with the same large blue suitcase. Detectives also reviewed CCTV footage from June 26th, which shows Gemma struggling to load a large blue suitcase into a rented Volvo SUV. Later that evening, her car is seen driving along Bennett Road in Salcombe, 3 hours from London, towards the wooded area where Deborah's body was discovered. During a search of Gemma's residence, officers discovered a cryptic note on a wall calendar that chillingly read, "Collect body." They also found a legal document in Deborah's name, a will dated October 27th, 2020, that named Gemma as a trustee. According to the will, Gemma was to receive 95% of Deborah's $700,000 estate for home renovations, with the remaining 5% going to Gemma's mother. The investigation deepened when an examination of Gemma's computer revealed a Word document of the same will, created on July 1st, 2021, weeks after Deborah's death. Detectives also gathered from phone records, app messages, and other evidence that Deborah had been criticizing Gemma for being messy in the months leading up to her murder. However, Deborah only became fully aware of the seriousness of the situation when she visited Gemma's family home with the intention of gifting $200,000. To her shock, she found the property in a state of severe disrepair. The house was chaotic, showing significant neglect, and cluttered to the point that some rooms were inaccessible. Horrified by the condition of the property, Deborah decided to retract her offer. Instead, she suggested via text message that Gemma should consider selling her $4.6 million property, downsizing, and benefiting from the proceeds. This revelation deeply upset Gemma. With compelling evidence to support their suspicions, detectives applied for and received a warrant for Gemma's arrest.
Police! Hello there.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good. There's no answer. Sorry, what's your name?
Sorry, we were asleep.
Are you Gemma?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, Gemma. Just can you hold a second?
Sure,
Come on, a second.
Sorry, can I
Gemma, do you want to come up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I just want to see them.
Hand just over to your hands. Alright, Gemma, at this moment, I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder. Okay, you don't have to say anything, but you may have a defence if you want to mention one question, something which you later rely on court. Anything you do say may be given evidence, okay? Once you're in the cuffs.
Am I allowed to?
I'll go explain everything to you. Okay?
Should I get some
Yeah,
shoes
sorry.
now?
What?
If you want to one sec.
Inside.
Who's inside at the moment?
Mother.
Your mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it?
If you want to... Oh, can someone lift that up?
Yeah. Let's step back inside.
Is anyone else inside? Just your mum?
Yeah.
There is someone else inside,
No,
or just your
that's
mum?
just my mum, yeah.
Alright, do you want to... Should I bring her out, or...?
Bring her in.
Bring her in?
For a minute.
Well,
yeah.
we're just going to come in for a sec,
Yeah.
okay?
They've said that the person driving the Volvo waited in the car all that time with the windows down and the front door open, the passenger door open, when it was literally chucking it down with rain and it was windy. Why is that, Gemma?
No comment.
The car stank, didn't it, Gemma?
No comment.
Stunk of a dead person.
No comment.
Stunk of Deborah's decomposing body. Is that right, Gemma?
No comment.
Gemma was arrested and detained on a murder charge, to which she pleaded not guilty. The trial commenced on October 11th, with prosecutors alleging that Gemma, who had publicly boasted about her expertise in human dissection, committed the murder at Deborah's residence. They claim she struck Deborah on the head, decapitated her, and callously disposed of her body in the woods by packing it into a suitcase. In her defense, Gemma's legal team argued that there was a lack of DNA evidence linking her to the suitcase and pointed out that her substantial property, valued at over $4 million, along with personal savings of $93,000, negated any financial motive for murder. They questioned how a murder charge could stand when the post-mortem examination had failed to determine the cause of death. After 7 hours of deliberation, on October 27, 2022, a jury at the Central Criminal Court of England and Wales, also known as the Old Bailey, reached a verdict.
Today at the Old Bailey, a 38-year-old woman, Gemma Mitchell, has been found guilty of that murder. Deborah was born in Malaysia. Through her own hard work and initiative, she made a good life for herself, finally settling in London, where she was a much valued and loved member of the community. The jury's heard that her later years were marred by poor mental health, but that throughout this time she never lost her firm religious beliefs nor her belief in the goodness of charity. And it was upon these beliefs that Gemma Mitchell preyed in an attempt to take a significant amount of money from Deborah. When Deborah refused, Mitchell murdered her. She forced the body into a suitcase and she transported the body some distance across North London, where she retained it for over a fortnight. At some point, she decapitated Deborah's body before finally driving some 250 miles to the coast of Devon, where she discarded her remains by the side of a wet and overgrown footpath. Unfortunately for Mitchell, the following day, on the 27th of June, a holidaying family in Salcombe found Deborah's remains and contacted the police. And at that point, Devon Cornwall Police initiated inquiries. When it became apparent that Deborah had been murdered in London, my team took primacy. Mitchell was arrested in early July and charged with Deborah's murder several days later. Our investigations revealed that Mitchell was in the process of doctoring wills in an attempt to make a significant claim on the estate of Deborah, but luckily this attempt never came to fruition.